Welcome to the Blueprint Podcast, episode 5. Here with my boy Hugh. Getting ready to talk about transitioning into multiplication. I'm going to let him take it away on that. But again, Blueprint Podcast, episode 5. What's going on, man?
What's going on, my man? I'm here.
Get started. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
So, my name's Hugh, background's in finance. Been married for about a year, got a little baby, A whole year, you know what I'm saying? A whole little 12 months and some change or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, been married for a whole year now. Got a little business that I run as well. Started some other little businesses that we got going. Getting some real estate stuff going, just trying to stay busy,
Where you originally from, man?
Originally from Texas, Texas, throw it up, Got to represent. Top 6. All right. But yeah, I'm originally from Texas, man.
Texas, what made you transition to Jacksonville? Well, Kingsland.
Okay, so initially I wanted to get away from, I really wanted to be by the beach. So initially in Texas, all you got is Galveston Beach. It's nasty out there. You ain't really got nothing like that. It's all that oil water. So I was like, I want to come to Florida. So I moved to Florida and kind of moved around from Orlando to South Florida. Mm-hmm. Came up here and reside where I'm at right now. Mm-hmm. This is home.
How long you been here?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
5 years.
I've been here 20. So let me ask you this. It's always interesting, especially when you come from that far.
Yeah.
Like, what was the drive? What was the motivation to transition to Jacksonville or Georgia Florida line, should I say?
I would say for me, it was just doing something that nobody else in my family is doing when it comes to like business-wise and moving away from the nest egg and just being completely on my own. Like I wanted to set my roots somewhere different because everybody's in Texas. That's where the family's at. Their businesses, everything is there. It's like I want to do something different. So when the family comes together, we got stuff in Texas. We got stuff in Florida. We got stuff in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? We kind of set our footprint in different areas. So for me, it was like, let me move somewhere that nobody in my family's at and kind of set my footprint. And it's pretty much.
So are you saying you come from a business-minded family, entrepreneurship? What we talking?
A little bit. So, like, my background, my parents are military. My dad was in the Army, stationed in Fort Hood. My sister's military. So, I came from an Army background. My mom's got her own business, so that's kind of like where I got the entrepreneur spirit from, aside from her buying my first push lawnmower back in North Carolina, Fort Bragg, 82nd Airborne. Shout out. But, other than that, man, it's just been, that's kind of like what I got my drive from. Like, my mom kind of set that drive in me, and it's always been in me.
How much would you say you learned in that time frame, like, to give you that push or that drive for that? Just entrepreneurship in general.
So for me, it was just being able to make your own money and make your own decisions. So like aside from making, good money, decent money, anything like that, being an entrepreneur, you can make your own decisions. You can say no when you can say no. Within an employment, it's your job, so you got to do something. You can't say no. You got to say yeah. So it kind of gives you that variance to be able to make those decisions on your own without the consequence of, I might get fired, I might get rolled up. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's kind of what I took from the early stage of my entrepreneur journey.
Gotcha. So tell me a little about the decision to move here. Like, outside of the beach, what was the, me and my family, we out of here. What was that moment like?
So initially, it was me solo, man. It was me solo first, came in solo. Me and Sarah, we dated in high school. We came back together. Years later, I was like, hey, she was going through divorce. I was single. I was like, hey, let's try to get back together. So we got back together, and I was like, hey, move to Texas. I'm not going to come back to Texas, baby. I'm going to be right here. So I moved up pretty much here, and been together ever since. Got married, had a baby, and just this is it.
Hard conversation, pretty simple.
Pretty simple. She was honestly, she was more so like, we've been in Texas our whole life. My parents are military, so we moved around, but that's where we've been based at in Texas. So it was like change of environment, change of everything. Let's do it. So she was up for it. So
you meet, I guess, safe to say, I don't want to say high school, but school sweetheart.
Yeah.
And by this time, everybody's ready. You know what? Let's do something different. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much how that happened. How did you prepare for that? Were you and her prepare for that?
So honestly, it was major financial decisions. You got to make a decision for business wise. Like, hey, is the business bringing enough income to support everything else? You got to do real estate. You got to buy a house, rent. Like little decisions like that we had to make between ourselves before we transition. Mm-hmm. But really, it was just a matter of doing what was best. Our preparation was really just it was kind of more spontaneous, honestly. It was more like, let's just go and let's just do it. Mm-hmm. Let's just get ready. Let's come out here and make it happen, and kind of been there ever since.
Do you feel like you, I keep saying you, do you feel like you all had to, do you feel like you all had to give up anything to make that?
Oh yeah. I mean, to make those decisions, I mean, you got your immediate family is there for you. Like, I can't call grandma and be like, "Hey, grandma, come watch the babies for a couple hours." Everybody's in Texas, you know. So you lose the variance of having the family there to fall back on, kind of like a pillow or a cushion, you know. Like, we don't have that family to lean on, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of make our own family, which is our church family, you know about that. That's how we kind of came together. But that was probably like the major decision making that we had to make was really just transitioning and understanding that our family's not going to be there because they're in a whole other place and it's just going to be us.
So let me ask you this: before you left, what do you feel was keeping you there originally?
Oh, my mom. I wanted to be close to my mom. I'm a mama's boy. I want to be close to the family. Mama's boy. I was like, man, I can't. You know, I got to do something. I got to do something different. I got to get out of my own nest egg. You know, I got to become my own man. I got to grow. And, you know, coming here was that.
And what type of work? What type of work were you doing there?
So I'm in finance now. So I'm a financial advisor. So I do financial advisor, IRA rollovers, 401k rollover. That's my primary thing. You know, if you need stock tips, I don't do the stock tip stuff, but I can give you some ETF ideas and stuff like that to transition to.
Brainiac.
Yeah, let me know.
Brainiac.
But follow me on MySpace. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, primarily that's what I do now. Finance. I've got some businesses that we run as well. So I'm kind of staying busy between the two.
Okay, so you leave, y'all. I keep saying you. Y'all leave Texas.
Yeah.
You get down this way, and okay, you settled in. I don't know, house, apartment, whatever. You get settled in, and like, what was your next step as to career? Was it a transfer, or was it something completely different?
Oh, it was a transfer. So I transferred my position where I just took on a new location that we have in Fernandina Beach. So I just transitioned there, and pretty much been there ever since.
And you do the same thing, or is there something more in depth there?
So what I do there is more in depth. It's more like it's a BFA, so it's a bank financial advisor. So basically, I'm there in the banking if you need anything investment wise. You refer to me and I help you out with anything investment, whether it's your IRA rollover or 401k. And I have my own book of business that I manage as well. So
Gotcha.
that's my primary business, finance. That's what I do. That's my primary job, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. So finance, and you said your own business now. I'm pretty sure you're doing good in finance. Okay. I love winning on every angle. That's another conversation. So you're in finance, and one day, you know what? I want something extra. What was that?
Electric skateboards. Can you believe it? You know what I'm saying? So I started a company where we do electric skateboard tours called Amelia Island Board Rentals. Check it out, Instagram, Facebook, all that. But yeah, so we started a business called Amelia Island Board Rentals. And we do tours on Amelia Island, Fernandina Beach, American Beach, tell them history. And just a different way to just tour an area. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go on vacation, you want to tour, you want to do something different. We give you that experience that you won't get anywhere else. It's truly.
How did you? How did that come into play for you?
So ideally, I wanted to be better than Segways because I was like, Segways is played out. It's all old people doing that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, anybody can ride a bike. You can ride a bike anywhere in the world when you go on vacation. I was like, if I do a skateboard, it would be different. So I started off with regular skateboards, but they were electric. And I was like, when you hit a rock, you feel it, you fall off. Yeah. So then I found the boards that I do now and partnered with this company, started building them a little bit, tinkered through that. And I was like, this is going to be it. So I buy the boards, we manage it, we do the fleet, we do the tours, and it's been
How many did you start out with versus like what you have now?
Oh, initially I started with like 3 boards, man. We were struggling, I had 3, you know what I'm saying, trying to get people to ride. No, I don't want to do that. Now it's like we booked up, calendars booked to like May, you know what I'm saying? So we're like fully booked. Now we have 11 skateboards, just added 4 electric scooters into our fleet. So it's busy. So
11 skateboards and 4 what now?
Electric scooters, like Harley style scooters.
So when you have a group session, like how many goes out at one time?
Our average group size is usually 3 to 6 people on
3 to 6 people?
Yeah,
How long does it run?
So the tour is an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Oh, you can't beat that.
Nah. Hour and a half tour, pictures, video. You get the history behind it. We play whatever music you want to play. It's just a good time, man. It's all about the experience.
How many days a week?
Oh, 7 days a week, man.
Oh, wow.
No sleep, So
Spring break, talk to them.
Hit us up. We got you.
Spring break, talk to them. So, like I said, you're working, and then, hey, I want to start something else. What was your reason for starting the business?
So the business, I feel like it gave me leverage to be able, once I'm ready to leave the job, I can go. Like instead of just like, let me quit my job and start this business, start the business ahead of time, get the business going, grow the business, and then when you're ready to leave, you can just go. So that was the whole idea of starting a business was just, for one, having that extra income, obviously when I'm ready to make that next jump for me, I can go. The business is floating. It's been in business for a couple of years. The revenue is good. Taxes is good. So I can just transition to it without having to say, I'm going to quit my job and start a business tomorrow, you know? Because then you go through hiccups. You go through trial and error that you don't want to depend on that one income to go through that trial and error. So like the trial and error period was while I still have my salary from my job. So I'm okay because I'm not depending on that income to survive, you know? So that was the easiest part for me, is just like, let's do it now while I still have the job and get transition and start going.
Do you feel like, well, before the business came along, did you have, how can I say this, somewhat or a few hardships that you had to depend on the job, which made you make that decision?
I did, yeah. I mean, everything was within the job. Everything was like PTO, time off, the bonuses, and you know, obviously, just like any job, you go through hiccups. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm not making enough. I feel like I'm doing so good, but I'm not getting what I want. You know, and it's like, if I start a business, I can kind of have a little bit of business income on the side. And then it came more of like, man, this is really good. We really got something good to where we can do it full time.
You said something good too. You said, do what you want. What is it outside of work that you want to do, whether to enhance life or give a surplus? What is it that you and your family want to do outside of that?
Outside of, ask that one more time. My bad.
Outside of work, because you know we tend to think work just take care of needs.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we rarely think about wants with jobs nowadays. So the business, what was the business, or what does the business provide for you outside of the job? That's your want, or not even your, let's not even say needs, your wants.
Yeah. So honestly, it's the time, man. It's like the time and the energy from, you know, hustling, bustling on the sales side of investments to just like, it's a more of an enjoyable moment doing the business. You know, like if I want to say I'm finna take 3 days off, cool. I got 3 days I'm finna spend with my family. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to call the job and say, hey, I got PTO time available. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's important.
Can I call out without pay? Nah, I don't have to do that. I can just like, let me just do the business. Like, let me just take a couple of days off, chill with the family. So it gives me more family time. You know what I'm saying? It gives you more family time, gives me more resources. And I really just like that side of it, honestly.
Was this particular business your passion, or was it just something you wanted to try out?
So honestly, skateboard, man, I had a skateboard when I was really younger. We lived in like Fort Riley, Kansas, and I had one for a little bit. My dad ran over in the driveway. Probably lasted like 3 days from a Christmas or something, right? So that was my only skateboard experience, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And then I came up with the idea. I was like, man, I want to do electric skateboard tours. And transition from there, kind of started practicing a little bit because, you know, I'm no Tony Hawk, you know what I'm saying? But, and just been doing it ever since.
It's funny because I'm trying not to laugh even as I say this. Way before Lil Wayne started skateboard,
Yeah.
I used to skateboard too, man.
Yeah, okay,
I kid you not.
said new to skateboarding.
I kid you not, man. This was back in, back in 90, 91.
Okay.
Man, a friend of mine, a dude named Scott Overby, if I remember his name correctly, had a skateboard. And I think we were walking one day and I found one dude. I never thought I would ride a skateboard.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the wheels I had that day, but man, I'm talking about, man, I started skating on, skateboard, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
man, this ain't bad. Learning how to balance it and, flipping and all that stuff. Now, I ain't, like you said, I ain't no Tony Hawk, but
I got you.
I can get to where I'm going and nothing else.
Yeah.
And
sure.
man, that's like a young kid's golf, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it really is. It's like their therapy. Like, men go to golf now for therapy, just to get like personal therapy, just to get away, just to do something, be free. That's how that outlet is for a lot of kids that skateboard too, which is good. They need that outlet,
Gotcha.
And
Have you and your family took this? I guess I want to call it excursion.
Oh yeah. So we've done the tour, man. Like my youngest Sophia rides, Sarah rides. We've done the tour. Like we've done the tour a couple times to be able to like get me better at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Delivering. So we practice, which is important. Practice, guys. Practice. Allen Iverson was not right. Practice. But so we practice. We've done the tour ourselves to kind of make sure that our guests are gonna like it, our customers are gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we do it. I mean, we even in our free time, man, we might do something like go to the beach, and then next thing you know, we riding our own skateboards on the beach.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we spend our time around it.
How was it? How long have you been doing this business?
The business I've been doing for 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
How is it from start to now?
Totally different transition, man. You talk
Tell
about
me about it. Tell me
so
about it.
we talk about like the first year. You know what I'm saying? This is exclusive information. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 tours a year. First year, like 4 tours a year to like. I mean, we're doing like. I mean, I'm doing like 3 tours a day of 4 or 5 different groups. So we're talking like 20 a week now. For the first year, we talking about like 3 or 4 people. Like 3 or 4 people's like, yeah, I'll do it, I'll try it. And it was like, all right, great, we got it. And then it was like year 2, you know what I'm saying, getting better. Year 3 and year 4, and it's like the last year was the best year was COVID. It was just like
Wow.
Yeah, so COVID was a blessing in disguise. Like we got all of our reservations canceled when COVID hit in March for TripAdvisor because no one's traveling. So we had like our whole month of like $3,000, $4,000 of bookings canceled. And then next thing you know, April's counseling, May's counseling, and then June came. People were like, we got to get up and do something. So business just started rocking, man. I started doing tours all day. People calling left and right, 7 days a week. So we just been rocking ever since, man. It's literally a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So
let me get in your business a little bit,
ahead.
and I ask these type of questions because I want people to know that entrepreneurship can work, but you got to be consistent with it. First year, what would you say your gross was versus year 5?
Oh man, like $1,000, man. Like
First
$1,000
year.
Like the first year, $1,000 is like no joke, $1,000, man. I put the little tax. I was like, oh, you don't need to put this amount because it's not enough to claim. All right, bet Uncle Sam. Appreciate it. But you know what I'm saying? It was literally just a small amount. It was like $1,000. Like that's it. You know.
What's your most since then?
Oh, the most in a month. Or
Month and year.
So I would say our best year, we're going right now for probably like 140 this year.
Skateboards,
That's the skateboard tours, and like our best month is like a month of like $7,000 worth of tours.
Oh my god!
But you got to think it's back-to-back tours. Like now the groups are getting bigger. We went from an average group of 2 to 3 people. Like now I got bookings 14 people, 13 people, 12.
So you
people,
mean
10
tell me
people.
you could have bought a house cash in a year?
Oh yeah, for sure.
At
Just with
least
the business.
at least a fixer up at this damn time.
Oh man, well yeah, you know they going up right now. Low inventory. You know they going up on their prices right now. They inflating them prices on them houses, y'all. Watch out for that. But yeah, man, pretty much.
Let me ask you this: year 1, after making that 1,000, what kept you going?
I would just say my passion for it. Like I knew it was something good. Like even
Passion
though,
is important.
and it wasn't about the money. Like honestly, it wasn't about the money.
Can't be about
because
the money.
We didn't make that much. It was more so like I know this is something good. I got a passion for it. I know it can make it. You know what I'm saying? So it was more of the drive. I had drive to do it, and just thinking about the drive that my mom had to do different things. It was just like, man, like I got that drive in me. Like that's in my DNA. Mom and pops got it. You know what I'm saying? So like I just got to keep going and keep pushing through. And
Did you ever feel like I tell everybody, and if it's different, prove me wrong today. In anything, if you've never wanted to give it up at least once, then you've never really wanted it.
oh no, for sure.
So
Like,
what was that moment like? You was like, no, man, I don't know.
Oh, I'll give
Tell
you
me
an
about
example. We had, so like, I think it was last year or the year before last, we used to ride through Egan's Creek Greenway on Amelia Island, and the city shut us down and said they don't want anything electric to it.
Wow.
So like, they sent me a cease and desist to the house. You know, that's
What?
when they send you that, it's like, oh, you official. Cease and desist, no more tours, right? So I was like, Sarah, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Like, man, they trying to hurt my business. She was like, nah, it's gonna be okay. We'll figure it out. So we just pretty much changed locations. We took that, like that was our vocal point. People went to go see the alligators in the wild, the birds and the snakes, and we turned that all around and just changed locations and geared our tour a little bit different. But now it's shorter. So before it was like a 5 miles, we done changed it like 2.5, 3 miles. So we get more battery life, so we save there, and then we get to see more things because the time isn't strained on it.
I hear
so
you over
like,
there. I hear you over there, Tesla.
I mean, it came from something. It came from something that I was like, man, I don't want to do this no more until like we're gonna work through it. And I was literally like, I was like, man, we don't even need to do the business no more. They don't want to see me succeed. And I was just like blaming it on them as if they did something wrong. But it was like, if I want to do it, it's on me. You know what I'm saying? I just kept that drive.
Always. Man, I tell people, you know, you you got 2 ways to fall. You can either fall to the ground, or you can turn the world upside down, defy gravity, and fall to the sky. That's on you, whichever way you want to fall.
That's true.
Man, I can't get over this. This dude said 140.
Yeah.
140?
Yeah. Business
In a
is
year.
good, man.
Skateboards.
Electric skateboard.
Dude,
too.
I'm about to go buy me some Airwalks today.
Hey, throw some Vans in there too. Throw some Vans in there with the checker print.
Airwalks today.
Yeah.
So you said $7,000 in 1 month. That's the most you ever made in 1 month doing this.
Oh yeah.
Man, what was that like when you look back and said, you know, you saw the total amount for that month? What was that like?
So for me, it was just like, is this real? Like this is what we're doing right now for the business?
And mind you, you still got the job income coming in too.
Yeah, I still got the job income.
And your wife, she works?
No.
Okay.
Full time mom.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So you really winning.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Another conversation. So the job income,
Yeah.
and then this month, I mean not today, but that time, $7,000. Like, take me through that.
So it was just like, this is real. Like, it was our wake up moment. It's like, yo, business is like booming. Like, we got something good. We got to keep it going. And we don't have to rely on the income for the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, the business is business income. We don't spend it. We don't have any overhead. You know what I'm saying? So we're not paying retail space or nothing. We just, everything is in my truck. You know what I'm saying? So we save on that end. So literally that money's just saving. And then we're living off the, me working still. You know what I'm saying? So it's good, man. It's good just knowing that we have that and we don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's there. We can grab it, but we don't need it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good feeling, man.
God, man, I'm still tripping. $140,000 skateboard.
Yeah, man.
Who would have ever thought?
Yeah.
Wow. So, job, transition, sweetheart. Let's go way over here.
Yeah.
I get here, and then it's okay. Got this good job. Want some more, and then you jump into this other thing that really was the bridge between job and business.
Yeah.
You jump into this thing that everybody's talking about now, Bitcoin.
Yeah. So Bitcoin, man, that's a whole different era. So this is my specialty.
What is Bitcoin?
So Bitcoin is just a digital currency, cryptocurrency, created by a Japanese gentleman. They believe, I can't think of his name right now, but it was man-made created. It's like a peer-to-peer transfer of money. But it's a good system of cryptocurrency. Like, it's a good form of cryptocurrency. I've been in Bitcoin before Sarah. So my initial investment in Bitcoin was in 2013. So that's when I initially got into Bitcoin. And I was just, I mean, Christmas gifts, everything, Bitcoin, like I had so much of it, and the reward was just paid off.
What was your drive for? Like, what was your interest in it?
So for me, it was like, I had like $1,000. I was like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, I'm gonna put this in this, like, we've lost money, here and there, just giving to family members, you know what I'm saying? At least do it in something that you love, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, I started reading up on it and started hearing about it. And I put $1,000 in. I got a digital wallet, put $1,000 in Bitcoin. Back when it was like $76 a coin, like late April of 2013, it shot to like $270 something. And then went down and started rocking. Went up and down, but like that, it was just like, it's $1,000. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was single at the time. It was just, I was okay with it. So, and I enjoyed the fact that it was a peer-to-peer transfer between people. So if I wanted to give you money, instead of me having to give you my credit card number or transfer money out of my account or go to the ATM, I could just send you this digital
And
currency.
I remember a conversation you were telling me, us at that time, as a group of us, that I want to make sure I say this right, that you you somewhat lived off of Bitcoin.
Yeah, we did. Like,
run that by me.
So when I had, and I still got a lot, but not as much as I did back then. So I had a lot of Bitcoin to the point where, like, I was able to live off of it. Literally, like, my work salary was just in the account. So what I would do, it's crazy, but I would like buy Amazon gift card for like $1,000 and be like, hey, I got an Amazon gift card for $950 cash. Like, I was renting at the time. I was like, you give me $950 cash, I give it to you. I'm taking $50 off. You're not losing. You know what I'm saying? So I basically was buying the gift cards, selling them to pay my bills. I was literally buying them with Bitcoin. So I was going there, gift.com, egifter.com. Hey, you need a hotel room? Hey, you send me the cash, I'll pay the hotel room with Bitcoin. I go online, I book the room, send a confirmation, they give me the cash, and I would use that to pay my water bill, electric bill, and I was just doing it like that. So instead of me having to use my work income, I had so much of it, and like, I was young too, so I was like, I got a bunch of this stuff, I'll be all right, you know what I'm saying?
How old were you?
How old was I back then? How old am I now? 33? So I was like 20, 25? Yeah, I was like 25, yeah. So I was young, not super young, you know what I'm saying? But I was younger to the point I was like, I got this stuff, and I can only use it for certain things. So I was like, I couldn't cash it out because, IRS, it was very new then. So they didn't have Coinbase and stuff like that you can cash it out on. So it was just peer-to-peer transfer, man. I lived off of it, paid bills.
So how long have you been doing cryptocurrency now?
So I've been in the cryptocurrency game, man, 8 years? 8, 9 years, yeah. And
you still in it, so obviously it's treating you nice.
Oh yeah, it's good, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying, we sitting up there right now, but it's just it's just extra. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing you got to think of it. It's just extra. So it's a good feeling.
So is it safe to say uh, you got 3 ways. I hate to say it like this, but you got 3 ways to get paid.
Potentially, I mean, you can kind of say that, but with it being like an investment, it goes up and down. So
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I can take money from it anytime I want, but it's just you can say 3 forms of income. per se.
But at least it's like I was me and a friend of mine, Jeremy, was talking on a previous episode. With investing, period, I'd rather take $100 and take the chance of making 140, or take the chance of losing 40 out of the 100,
Yeah.
versus go spend the whole 100 and it's gone.
Yeah, and it's gone. Literally, like, let me just go out to eat and spend the whole $100 and it's gone. Versus
At
putting
least if
something
I
else.
lose off that 100, they're pinching off of it.
Yeah,
And if I gain,
you're gonna learn some off either way. Like either direction, that's what you got to look at things. It's like if I invest this 100 and it go down to $60, what did I learn from that? If I invest this 100 and it make 150, what did I learn from that? What can I do different? You know what I'm saying? You got to take it as a lesson, because if you don't, then you'll just do it nonchalantly. You know what I'm saying? You just do it just to be doing it, and you're not gaining anything from it. You get what I'm saying? And with that, then you can do it with strategy. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's investing in Bitcoin or stocks or ETFs, you can do it with strategy after you're doing it right.
you sound like you done read a lot of books. Oh, you just got a lot of time to, I guess, research.
Oh yeah, I've done. I mean, I read a little bit. I do. Honestly, I prefer audiobooks. I'm always driving, so I put audiobooks on and kind of drive to that. But just being in the banking and the finance side of it, and investing for so long, it's just learning through trial and error. Like you've seen the different markets, or the housing market and stuff like that, and just learning from it, and these different hypes of stocks and stuff like that. You see it and you learn from it to where you make different decisions when they come back around. So that's what my experience is all based off of.
So, again, job, business, Bitcoin. Oh man, I'm trying.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's a lot in a good sense.
Oh yeah.
Cause I'm like 140 grand a year, and I'm pretty sure you transitioning that money into investments. So
Oh, yeah.
it really isn't no losing going on.
No, it isn't, and you got to do it right. Like you got to think like when you make decisions like this, you got to do it. You got to do it based on what's best for you, not now, but in the future. You got to think long term, because a lot of people do like, this is what's best for me now. Like, let me take money out of the business account to buy a car now. Nah, that's a want. You know what I'm saying? But that's not going to help me in the future. You get what I'm saying? So when you make, everybody on the podcast listening, you got to make these decisions based on what's best for you in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So with the investment, like the business income that I have that's sitting there, it's sitting there for a future thing. It's not. I'm not using it now for something. You know what I'm saying? With Bitcoin, I've already made my return 2,000, 3,000 times plus on Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? For my initial investment. So everything else is just like extra. Like you can't be greedy to the point where it's like, let me just spend it all and go crazy with it. Like it's there. Even if Bitcoin went down to from 51,000, 140, what it was a little bit ago, to like $1 a coin, like it is what it is. I've already made mine. Like I'm okay. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lose any sleep. I'm not gonna be upset. It's, you live and learn. You know what I'm saying?
Watching you and knowing you, observing you, I'm gonna have to dub you the Black Bill Gates.
I wish, man.
Actually,
I wish.
what's the other guy's name? Not Bill Gates.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
The
I'm sorry.
The Oracle of Omaha. That's the guy. The Oracle of Omaha is what they call him.
Black Warren Buffett. And the reason I say that is because I haven't been knowing you a long time, but I know you enough to know character and business, job, and Bitcoin. I ain't gonna get into your business,
You good?
but you got some Ben Frakes going on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And how do you do all that and still stay regular guy? And what I mean by regular, you're a nice guy.
Yeah.
You're not-
I'm humble. I'm gonna always be humble, because
go ahead.
you can't let the money change you. The thing is, like I said before, that Bitcoin could go from 51,000 to $1 right now and be worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like so you can't let that be your high for how you feel. You carry yourself the same regardless of where your money stature is, your tax bracket, because you're looking at the long term. You know what I'm saying? Like if Bitcoin go to 100,000, great. I'm gonna still be the same person I was when it was 51,000. Like I'm the same that I was when it was $223 a coin. You get what I'm saying? So you got to understand that life is too short for you to let a money decision or putting yourself on a pedestal change you. You know what I'm saying? Because all that could be taken away from you in the day. You know, like God could take that away from us right now. Next thing you know, I'm like, man, God, I didn't get to spend all that Bitcoin I had. He ain't caring about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, what about my stocks real quick? You know what I'm saying? He's not thinking about that. It's just all that could be gone for you within a flash.
Oh, yeah.
And you sitting here on life thinking like, oh, man, I got everything going on. You got to stay humble because it could be taken away from you so quick. You know what I'm saying?
How do you stay, and I know a lot of people consider this a bad word, how do you stay content when you have an avenue of cash flow like you do?
So I'm very frugal. I live, you know, I don't live almighty, you know what I'm saying? So like we have very low bills, we got very low overhead, you know what I'm saying? Like we keep things like that because that's our lifestyle. Like the money is there, but we know we got something long term to do with it. You know what I'm saying? We got kids' education and stuff like that. We're thinking about it. So we can't live for the moment of having it now and spending it. You got to think like, oh, I got this money, but I don't have it to use it now. I have it for the future. So we're going to keep our finances the same. We're not going to live above our means or change anything else. We're just going to keep investing and keep doing what we're doing so we can get to the long-term goal. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what me and Sarah do that I would say makes us different.
You said something that that was very key, and I think a lot of people don't think about. Some of us don't think about it until we start hitting 40s and 50s and 60s, and that body start declining, breaking down, getting slow, whatever you want to call it. How important is future you?
So the future me?
Yes.
The future me is very important. I would say the future me is important because like I want to be around to have these conversations in the future, to be able to say like, I'm the same person then I was, I'm the same person now as I was then. I want to be here to say like, I've done something with myself. Like I have a legacy for my family, for my kids. And I would say the future me is only going to be better than I am now. Like I'm still going to be humble because I'm still learning. I'm not perfect, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still going to be a better version of myself in the future than I am right now.
If you had a room full of, let's say, 16, 17-year-olds, what would you say to them, or how would you drive into them the importance of tomorrow's you, the later you?
I would say for sure that life could be taken away from you so quick. Whether it's a kid at 16 that's a superstar football player, like you could break your leg right now and never play again. You could break your arm, you could lose your arm, never play again. So you got to think about the long-term future of you. Like you want to do something today that's going to make you better in the future. If you're playing football, that's great. You got a talent. But you got to do some other stuff too that's going to make you better in the future, because once football's gone, now you back into the regular playing field of real life. What you going to have to give? You know what I'm saying? So whether that's something of let me stay grounded, let me read, let me respect my parents, like little stuff like that go a long way, because it can change a kid to the dynamic of he can influence others. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine a star football player that's a really good football player, but he don't respect his parents, and the other kids look up to him, and they're not gonna respect their parents because they're like, man, he the star football player. He don't I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? But imagine a little bit of respect, how much farther it can go. That little influence could impact the whole football team. And next thing you know, all these 20 football players that looked up to him are now having a little more respect for their parents and their teachers and stuff like that. So it's just the little things. You got to think of what you're doing now can change somebody right now for their future.
Is it, with finances, is it ever too late to start?
It's never too late. Never too late. Whether you're investing in Bitcoin or anything else, and it's like a lot of people talk about the timing of getting into the market, whether it's Facebook or Tesla or stuff like that. Yeah, that's a timing thing, but even if you get in, you're still ahead of everybody else that's not get in. Like I pull it like this, like I heard somebody say, like you're going to the gym and you're on the treadmill, you lapping everybody that's on the couch. Like you're running right now, but you're lapping everybody that's on the couch. So
that's deep.
Like you just starting a small investment right now is getting ahead of the people that aren't, but it's also getting ahead of your future. So let's just say you started whether you're 41 or 35. Great, you didn't start when you were 20. It is what it is, but you start now, so you're still one step ahead, and you just make micro decisions to get you better to where you want to be at. What's your goal investment wise?
With Bitcoin, I know we talk about the business and year 1 versus year 4 and 5. With how about with Bitcoin when you first started, and let's say what's the most you made in a month or a year with Bitcoin?
So with Bitcoin, I've never watched it that much. Like I monitor it, but I've never looked at it to point, oh man, yesterday was at 49, today's at 51. I would say at one point I logged in my account. It was like 13,000. It was a couple years ago. I logged in because I got like a couple different wallets. I logged in, it was like 13,000, and I logged in again. It was like 56,000. But that was over. I don't know if that was like 3-4 month time frame, but it definitely was a couple months. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like, oh man, I got 56,000 in Bitcoin right now. Like this is good. Like I need to get back on Bitcoin and start monitoring it more, because it was just like I had it, but I wasn't paying that much attention to it, because it was just like, put it there. It's gonna be all right. Don't think about it, and that's sometimes what we need to do with our investments, to kind of instill us, not to get so driven, because you can't drive the price of Bitcoin. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't. Elon Musk might have done his little thing, and they accepting Bitcoin for Teslas coming soon. And that drives the price. He's a big influencer. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody like us not gonna drive the price of Bitcoin. Like people aren't gonna listen to this podcast, and Bitcoin gonna go to 56,000.
And it's the same thing happened with GameStop.
Oh yeah, for sure. Whether it was Elon Musk or the other dude that was behind that, it was a classic pump and dump that was done. It was a slower pump and dump. Pump and dump is when you pump up a stock and then you dump it. The only thing that he didn't do is he didn't dump the stock. So basically, he got in really early before everyone else, and he pumped it up. And he was afraid that he was going to get in trouble, which he still got in trouble because he was licensed. So he didn't dump it when the price went high. So he pretty much held on to his share so that he wouldn't get convicted of running a pump and dump. But GameStop, that was a pump and dump. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So, man, I'm going to ask this question, but hopefully you can answer it, because you got 3 different avenues. Like, what was your biggest influence during these stages with, we're not even going to talk about work.
Okay.
Business and Bitcoin. What were your biggest influences for that? Like, what were you watching? What were you reading? What were you listening to help you with that?
So I've always watched CNBC and Bloomberg. I've always been
yeah.
on those. That's the first thing I watch in the morning when pre-market open up. It's always been the first thing I've been on. So initially for Bitcoin, it was Reddit. I want to say it was Reddit was initially what got me into Bitcoin a while ago. And then I just kind of stayed in it. That's what gravitated it to me. And then, stocks and anything else. I learned that stuff from work and CNBC and just my own research. But Reddit put me on Bitcoin a long time ago. I can't think of the kid's name, but it was 2013. I was just reading something up at night. You know what I'm saying? Just a young me, just sitting online, nothing else to do. And next thing you know, Bitcoin. I'm like, let me try. Let me put something in it. And there it is.
How important? I hear you saying, you hold your money. How important is it to grow the dollar?
It's everything, because like with digital currency, the dollar may become less. Like people were, with COVID, people were like, they need more coin, but they don't have dollars for people no more. So it's like, man, I don't want nobody touching my money because of COVID. Like it's crazy stuff like that. It's like, well, digital currency, I can just transfer money on my phone. I don't have to touch it. You get what I'm saying? So like the value of the dollar may eventually not be as important, because people are using more plastic. People are using different avenues of currency, digital currency, Dogecoin, and all these different coins that they come up with in Bitcoin. So it's the dollar is important to have. You definitely want to have it the same way that you don't want to have, all your stocks, all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to have all defensive stocks, or all Tesla, all Facebook, or Microsoft. You want to have a variance of it. So, you're still going to need the dollar, because that's our currency in the U.S. And, to the yen and different things like that, it can compare pretty well for you. So you always want to have it, but you also want to diversify, because who knows? The dollar might crash to the point where your Bitcoin might just be your outlet. Instead of using your cash to buy stuff, you might be able to use your Bitcoin until things change. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want to have a little bit of both.
Let me ask you this: with both business and Bitcoin, what were some of your your earliest mistakes? Let's start with the business first, and then Bitcoin. What were some of your earliest mistakes?
So for the business, my earliest mistakes were, I would say, depending on my friends to try to get the business going.
Man, stop.
That's real though.
One of the things I tell people all the time: when you have a business or anything, business passion, when you lead the pack, nobody will have an appetite bigger than you. If your appetite is smaller than the people you're trying to push, something wrong.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
True. But it's real, because it's like initially to start our business, we were like, hey, family and friends, y'all come ride for free just to get it going, All right, bet. We got you. Nobody. Ghost. I'm talking about like, hey, it's a free ride. Just do it. Just get the business out there. So you got to understand that everybody's not going to have your same focus. You know what I'm saying? Like you probably heard the saying, focus goes where energy flows. Like
Mm-hmm.
your focus goes what your energy is flowing to. And if your friend is doing something totally different, even though you're offering this to them,
Mm-hmm.
they're on a totally different path. So you got to understand that don't let your friends downplay your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying my friends did this, but it was just like, man, I wanted y'all to ride for free just to get it going.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody calling trying to get a ride now, but we busy now. We booked now. Like I mean, I gotta actually put you in the calendar for a certain day to get you on there. Versus
the
like
train. This the
before,
train.
I could get you on. Here's 4 boards. Go ride for free. Y'all at the beach today? Call me. I bring them. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like everybody wants to be a fan. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta. And they're still your friends, but you just gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Let me ask you this before you. No, go ahead and answer that on the Bitcoin side.
So the early stage of Bitcoin, I would say I spent a lot when I first got early in. Like I was, I was splurging. You know what I'm saying? Because I was younger. You know what I'm saying?
Not you splurging.
I was splurging, but it was like I had so much of it. So for me, what I could have done differently, I would have staggered my purchases. You know what I'm saying? Like now I do things like when Bitcoin might hit 53,000 a coin, like I might be like, let me buy $1,000 worth of groceries. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, and the price gonna go back up. But it's like
$1,000 worth of groceries.
just $1,000 worth of groceries just to have.
What you buying, man?
I mean, we don't eat that much food. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like let me buy $1,000 Amazon gift, or let me buy $1,000 Target gift
Man,
card.
what we talking?
and we can get the
Porterhouse,
groceries.
ribeyes. What we talking, man?
I mean, Ruth Chris, because you can get some gift cards too with Bitcoin. But yeah, man, it was just like let me. I would spend differently that way. Because I wasn't looking at the price when I was spending. So the price was low when I was spending. But if I would have waited till it got high and spent a little bit, it wouldn't have brought me back down to where I was. You get what I'm saying? Like if I would have spent like $1,000 when the price of it was $20,000, great, I'm okay. But I was spending that when the price was like $400 a coin. So I'm spending, 2.5 Bitcoins to buy, this one thing of groceries versus when the price was higher. You get what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing I would have done.
You said
different.
something. Let me make sure I remember this right. Family or friends you were trying to give the free rides to? Both?
Oh yeah.
I think it's crazy, man.
And more so friends because my family is in Texas. So it was more.
Gotcha.
It was honestly more so the friends because I don't have a family here.
I think it's that's crazy within itself. So let me ask you this before I even say what I'm going to say. How much, man, I think I may have already answered it in my mind. Like, how much did the stranger play in your growth versus the friend?
The stranger was everything. Honestly, the stranger was the one that.
I tell people this all the time.
The strangers were the ones that when I did tours for them, it was like, Hugh, you have something so good. Like me and my family have done tours all around the world, but we've never, like I just had someone tell me this, like we've done tours in Europe, Paris, all around the world, Hawaii, Alaska. This is the best experience we've ever experienced together as a family.
From the stranger.
From a stranger, not from a friend that I'm like, hey, his boys come ride. Because and that's what we got to remember, that like your friends are gonna be your friends. They're still gonna be there, but they might not support you the way you want. And don't let that bother you. Don't let that make you be less of a friend because they don't support you. That's just where they are. You still be your friend when you need them. You know what I'm saying? So you still be there for them. But
I tell people, man, in any desire, business, avenue, venture, when you have a friend, a real friend, there's just some things you're not gonna have to ask them to do.
Nah.
If I'm your friend, you ain't gotta ask me. When I see your business, I should be sharing that.
Yeah.
When you posting something about your business,
Yeah.
you're gonna automatically get a like from me.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna have to ask for that.
Yeah.
So, I tell people when you venture it out and you having a business, you trying to start out, whatever the case, get uncomfortable but okay with not start with your friends and your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing wrong if you do, but I'm saying
Yeah.
save yourself the headache.
Yeah.
I promise you, the stranger and the unfamiliar, they're gonna
Very
take
true.
you further
Very true.
than the ones you talk to every day. Nothing wrong with them. Like you said, they may not be there.
Yeah.
So I promise you, the friend, the unfamiliar territory, they're gonna launch you. I promise you.
That's true.
You said
That's
something
true,
that was
man.
so key.
True.
I'm glad you said it because I say this all the time. Like, if you start a new business tomorrow,
Yeah.
your first 5 or 10 phone calls does not need to be Uncle John, Auntie Mary, Mike, who I play football with.
Yeah.
Set it out there for the stranger, man.
Yeah.
And just like you say, when it got big, now everybody trying to get on the list.
Everybody trying to get on. Yeah. But now it's like, I got you, but now I got to pencil you in. Like now it ain't just that easy. You know what I'm saying? Like now I gotta remember like, and I gotta think like sometimes your friends might want stuff for free too, and that's another thing to think about. Like it's like I was trying to give it to you when it was free.
Yeah,
it's business and all discounted stuff. But like now it's like I need to change my calendar to let you ride with your family. That you probably thinking you're gonna do it for free when I could leave that slot for somebody that want to pay $55 per person. So it's like you got to make that, and you have to make business decisions.
Oh yeah,
but you got to remember that those are your friends, and if that lose your friendship, you don't lose friendship with
listen,
stuff like that.
You got a business, and I know you feed your family off of that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna come to you for no discount.
Nah, but
Hugh,
you got
how much it costs? $55. Okay, here it is. If I feel like it's too expensive, I'm not even gonna come to you.
Don't do it. Yeah, I mean that's fine. Yeah,
I'll be chilly, but I'm just not gonna purchase.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
And that's cool. But and you know that's the thing. Like you have friends that think like that, and that's the way to go. Because like, hey, they might not ride me because it's expensive, but support it, like it, share it.
A like don't cost you nothing.
Don't cost you nothing.
A share don't cost you nothing.
Don't cost you nothing. Just give love out there. You know what I'm saying? Spontaneous love.
When you hit the like button, and you share your friends or associates, affiliates, business interests, man, that means everything.
Oh yeah, it goes a long way.
It don't cost you nothing.
It don't cost you anything.
It don't cost you nothing.
A little bit of time. Oh, it took me like 5 seconds to do that. Great, 5 seconds. Like, share, cool. Next.
It don't cost you nothing, man.
That's it, man.
So with everything that you've done, from transitioning from one place to another, job, business, Bitcoin, what are some myths that you would like to call out that people may have with these type of ventures?
So as far as like myths that people think like your friends are always going to be there for you, that's definitely a myth. Like people say like, oh, when you start your business, your friends and family are going to be there for you. You hear that a lot, and you hear a lot of like self-talk books talk about that. But that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, when you think about it, it's like you're on an island by yourself when you're starting that business. So you're surrounded by nothing. You know what I'm saying? When you're on an island, you're surrounded by nothing. So you got to think of it. You only got you. Your friends and family members, they're not gonna be there as much as you think.
If you like, you know, I have the biggest problem. Not none of my friends who are watching, but just in general. I tell my wife this. I said, you know, it's easy for me to how can I say, step or always be in a plateau that nobody else is in, because I live and dream. I stay in dream so much till, you know, reality don't even affect me.
Yeah.
And when, like yourself, everything that you started, you know, it was a dream.
Oh yeah.
And when you dreaming, everybody else awake. If they're awake and you dreaming, how y'all gonna see the same thing?
That's true.
How they gonna see the same thing?
I never thought about that. That's true. That's true.
Wow. So, starting a business just in general, what are some things that you want to debunk about that? I know you said about the friend thing.
Yeah. So for sure, with starting a business, just go out there and do it. Like if you have an idea, don't wait for tomorrow to do it. Go ahead and write your ideas down. Write these ideas down, because when you have them in your head, you might have a good idea, but it's gone in 6 months. But it was so good, and you're like, man, I forgot I had something. But write these ideas down and write down your goals too, because if you write down your goals, it gives you something to focus on to try to reach. So if your goal is like, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna buy the website domain, GoDaddy.com, $9.99. Buy the domain now, get it done. If your goal is for 6 months from now is to build a domain, slowly work on it. But when you wake up, look at, like, have that in your phone, make that your screensaver. So when you look at it, you're like, oh man, I forgot I gotta do that. So that way you know that you got steps that you gotta take to get there. So definitely write down your goals and focus on those things. Like focus on those goals, reach those goals, and just stay on path toward those goals.
I got 2 more questions for you real quick.
Sir.
What makes leaving your comfort zone today different from when you started?
So back then it was like, for work you needed the money. You need the money. You gotta work. You know, now having a business, you got a cushion. You know, you got the business income. You got multiple streams of income. You still got work. So it's like you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to starting a business and making those decisions, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to accept that. Like you ever had to sleep on the floor at somebody's house and you hated it, but you was like, wasn't no beds available when you went in town to visit them, so you got comfortable sleeping on the floor. That's just what it is. That's what the situation you was in. And in life and in business, it's the same thing. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's a fact.
And just take that for what it is.
That's a fact, man. Last question. You now versus you then, what would you tell yourself?
Man, Hugh, marry Sarah back then. Marry Sarah back then. Start them babies early. But, I mean, seriously though, like, love my life. You know what I'm saying? So if there was anything that I could say different, business wise, would be write down my goals. If you want to be serious and talk business, I would say I should have wrote down my goals early on, because I did it later on. But if I wrote them down then, I would have accomplished them sooner because I had something to look up to. I had something to remind me that I need to reach to. So I would say for sure, slower process for things. Be more of a listener than a speaker. Be, less hard headed. You know what I'm saying? As youth. So don't be as hard headed, obviously, and just slow down on your processes.
Man, I was gonna say when you said I asked you the question about you now, you then.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you not to spend $1,000 on Christmas. I was gonna say, man, do you still
That's a lot of eating, man.
You still got them steaks in the freezer, man?
And they like the Swan truck steaks, man. The little yellow Swan truck comes through today. Hey, let me get Swan truck coming. Got ice cream today. Get the Swan truck.
Well, man, listen, that's our time, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Definitely gonna be talking more in the future because I got to get Bitcoin savvy, man. So,
Let's do it,
man. I appreciate it, bro.
Let's do it. Let's rock with it.
All right,
Let's get it. Check us out, Blueprint Podcast. You dig?